Good morning and welcome to Mr. Wizard's Workshop, episode number 60. The focus this week will be cultivating mindfulness. So a quick definition, it's a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one's feelings, thoughts, and bodily sensations without judging or trying to force things. So it's another way to say it's a practice of purposely bringing one's attention to the present moment experience without evaluation or judgment. An even more simple definition or description from Eckhart Tolle, it's discovering the simple fact that there's a voice in your head that is continuously commenting on what is happening around you. Definition from Jack Kornfield, who's another mindfulness practitioner that I really like and study. Mindful attention to any experience is liberating. Mindfulness brings perspective, balance, and freedom. What's mindfulness got to do with overcoming procrastination and becoming more productive, which is my jam? That would seem to be an entirely worldly or material thing, whereas mindfulness is pretty firmly in the spiritual practice arena. So why, as a business coach, why would I even mention or discuss it? I'm not a spiritual guru. My clients aren't looking to me for enlightenment, fortunately. So I guess the basic question, isn't this too much woo-woo for people who are seeking what I'm offering? And my answer is no. Mindfulness makes you much more productive. If you've been with me for a while, then you know I've talked about the importance of being aware and overcoming the monkey mind in at least half a dozen different workshops in the past. As a reminder, monkey mind is the Buddhist term meaning unsettled, restless, capricious, whimsical, fanciful, inconstant, confused, indecisive, uncontrollable. I love this little gif with Homer and the monkey mind running amok in his head. And just last week, I pointed out that mindfulness is actually required to eliminate one of the key sources of our limiting beliefs, negative self-talk. So I've touched on it and I've used a lot of the principles of mindfulness in the past, but I haven't devoted a whole episode to it. I haven't really addressed the fact that it is an important thing to understand, even if your focus is entirely material or material world success. So how does it make you more productive? Well, it enhances your focus, reduces distractions, improves your ability to manage what I call the big three: your time, your energy, and your attention. So attention is actually a valuable and finite resource, just like time and energy. That's one reason that trying to multitask is such a bad idea, because it burns up your attention resource. I have a reminder/affirmation written on a Post-it note sitting here on my second monitor, my side monitor. I invest my time, energy, and attention wisely. So if you think about or understand that attention is an important resource, it's a lot easier to grasp why mindfulness practice can be very beneficial for your productivity. So other ways that mindfulness helps to make you more productive: it enhances your ability to focus, and I believe focus is the key to being productive. It also enhances your ability to recover focus quickly, because even the best of us can be momentarily distracted, either internally or some external distraction pops up that we have to deal with. It also promotes active listening and engagement. If you are a mentor, a manager, or a coach, this is a superpower. Giving someone your full, undivided attention in the present moment is extremely powerful. So mindfulness also enhances decision-making. It allows you to pause and think instead of potentially reacting impulsively. It also increases your creativity. So when your mind is less cultured with distractions and stress, it becomes more receptive to creative ideas. When I'm working on anything that has a creative element, I'll switch back and forth between actively like researching or writing things down, and then just pausing and doing a little simple breathing exercises and short-term just shutting my mind down. And that opens me up to being able to tap into the creative universe, as it were. And there are 5 specific ways it helps you to overcome procrastination, which, as you know, is also one of my big jams, overcoming procrastination. So increases self-awareness. That helps you to recognize when you're slipping into a state of procrastination. Being mindful helps you understand the specific procrastination triggers and explore reasons behind why you are procrastinating. As we've talked about in the past, there can be lots of different reasons. And for the same person, depending on the type of task or thing they're procrastinating, there can be different reasons. It reduces distractions because it encourages you to be present and focused on the task at hand. And staying present in the process helps you to stay present in what you're working on, the task at hand, and focusing on the journey, the present moment and the work, rather than being slowly driven by the end result. And then another way that mindfulness can really help you overcome procrastination is procrastination can be a response to feeling overwhelmed by the magnitude of the task. So mindfulness allows you to take a step back, be unemotional about it, and break the task into smaller, manageable parts, and then approach the work with a calmer and more composed mindset. So most people have at least been exposed to things that can help them cultivate mindfulness. I've listed the 4 that I find most useful, actually the 5 I find most useful. One is breathing exercises. I do breathing exercises fairly regularly every day. I mean, first thing in the morning, I'll take a few minutes and focus on my breath, observing the rhythm, initially without trying to change it. I'll just follow the breath into my body and feel it. And, if your mind wanders, then, gently bring your attention back to your breath. A little bit more formal is a regular mindful meditation. I set aside, at this point, I'm up to like 40 minutes a day for more formal meditation. And as you probably know, you need to find a quiet, comfortable space, sit or lie down, and then, a way to get started, again, is direct your attention to your breath. That's one of the simplest getting started meditations. You can direct your attention to bodily sensations, or, and this is what I do most of the time now, is a specific point of focus, like a mantra. And there are several mantras out there. Om is a good universal mantra. And then the third thing is having some mindful daily activities. That is infusing mindfulness into my routines. So if I'm like in the morning, oftentimes I'll do a set of kitchen chores, like if I run the dishwasher to clean out the dishes, do the laundry, do some cleanup in the kitchen. Other activities like walking. I almost always walk out to my mailbox in the morning. Even things as simple as brushing your teeth and eating. If you fully present when you're doing those things, paying attention to them, and each sensation and actions you're taking without rushing. Again, think of it as a journey. A lot of people don't really live in the present moment. It's all about either the past or the future. So everything they're doing is something that to move them into something down the road. So rather than, which never comes, because all you really have is the present moment. And then using mindful reminders. For me, I mentioned my sticky note that I have, and then I use my little cooking alarm, my timer that I use to remind me when a time block is up. I also use that to remind me to do a minute or two of, breathing and kind of settle my mind before I go into my next time block. So the action item for this week, again, is pretty straightforward. I actually found a YouTube video with both Jack Kornfield and Eckhart Tolle, 2 of my favorite mindfulness people. They're talking about their joint perspective on things. I'll post the link to that video in the description of this week's video. So I have a question for you. Are you an entrepreneur who's highly motivated to improve your productivity, but you still struggle with procrastination? Really find yourself neglecting your highest priority tasks? Schedule a free 30-minute quick start to time blocking working session with me, and I'll show you how to beat procrastination and start getting your shit done. And I'll put the link to my scheduling app in the description of this video. Do you buy into my thesis that mindfulness and mindfulness practice has a place in the world of productivity and overcoming procrastination?
Oh yes, 100%. It's like, yeah, I see this every day in my life, and I see this every day in the life of my clients. When you break down business and marketing, it's not that complicated, right? Like, this is why you don't need a degree to run a business. You don't need a degree to start a business. You don't need a degree to do marketing. It's like, if you have the curiosity and the willingness to learn, you can buy books, you can educate yourself. So at its core, marketing and business is quite simple. But then again, very few people do what they want to do. Very few people do what they should be doing. And as you said, we all neglect our highest priority tasks for whatever reasons. And what I found is that it's all just, we don't do what we're supposed to do. Why are we not doing it? It's in our heads, it's in our minds, it's how we feel about tasks, how we feel about ourselves, the day, everything. And so mindfulness practice is one of those things that really help with regulating yourself and creating an environment for yourself where you do more of what you should be doing.
You're living much more in the present moment than, you smell the roses. Whereas if you're stuck in your mind, up in your head, the only thing you're ever thinking about is either the past or the future, then you're not really living your life as well as you could be.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Even if you're very pragmatic and practical and your biggest focus in life is being successful and productive, it will support you in that goal. It's not just frou-frou, woo-woo stuff. I think everybody would benefit from understanding what mindfulness is and having some level of mindfulness practice. So
probably.
Other than meditation, do you have any other mindfulness practices? Well, and you mentioned the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which I think you're right is a mindfulness technique. Is there anything else you use? Any of the other things I mentioned, like just a basic periodic breathing exercise or some little reminder to pause and clear your mind and become more focused and aware before you start your next task?
Yeah. So first of all, I'm pretty much living according to your calendar blocking guide that you published, which means after two work blocks, I have a 15 to 30-minute break. And in that break, usually for 10 to 15 minutes, I read, whether that's outside on the terrace or the bad weather, like just a different location, different comfortable location at home. I just take off my glasses and rest. That's one thing. And the other thing for me, a big thing, is I exercise daily for 1 hour, and I exercise without music, without podcasts, anything. And I try to focus as much as I can. If it's weight, I focus on the muscle, like trying to feel the movement in the muscle. If it's cardio, I focus on the breathing. I practice nose breathing in my cardio, which is quite hard, especially when you push yourself.
Yeah.
But really like feeling every single breath and imagining how I can absorb as much oxygen as possible with every single breath. These are pretty intense mindfulness exercises for me personally.
Absolutely. Well, are you aware of the works of either Jack Kornfield or Eckhart Tolle?
I know their names, probably from you.
If you ever get to the point where you want to do a little bit more reading and study, especially audiobooks, either one or both of them, I personally find very, very helpful. I mean, they have two different perspectives. Jack Kornfield used to be, he was a Buddhist monk in Thailand for several years. He's now a clinical psychologist, but he provides a great perspective from the Buddhist perspective, mindfulness practices and Buddhist psychology. And then Eckhart Tolle is more, it's basically the power of now. And instead of mindfulness, he calls it present. They're basically teaching the same thing from two slightly different perspectives. So thanks for watching this video recording from my live weekly workshop. Every Sunday, I feature instantly actionable steps you can take to overcome procrastination, increase your productivity, and get your shit done. Followed up by Q&A and discussion with the live participants. I really hope you found this video useful and you feel like watching it was time well spent. Please post any questions or comments you have. I always answer posts. I'd appreciate it very much if you would like this video and subscribe to my channel. And if you know anyone that would enjoy and benefit from this particular episode, please send them the link. Stay productive, my friends.